Welcome to the Water Trough, where we can't make you drink, but we will make you think. My name is Ed Drozd, the Small Business Doctor, and I'm really excited you chose to join me here as we discuss topics that are important for small business folks just like you. If you're looking for ideas, inspiration, and possibility, you've come to the right place. Join us as we take steps to help you create the healthy business that you've always wanted. Good afternoon, folks. This is Ed Drozd, the Small Business Doctor. Welcome back to the Water Trough. Today, I am joined by Madison Hollimon. Madison is the owner and founder of Mad Marketing House, a marketing firm that specializes in authentic creation and branding for businesses, particularly in the luxury and personal brand space. With over a decade of experience in marketing, including 5 years as an agency owner, Madison has worked with over 1,000 businesses to transform their digital presence. Her expertise in visual storytelling and social media content has helped countless brands grow their digital footprint and generate significant returns on advertising spend. Madison's agency has successfully managed over $1 million in ad spend, yielding more than $50 million in revenue for her clients. Madison, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here today, Madison. So tell me, what gave rise to Mad Marketing House? Where did the name come from?
So, have you ever seen Alice in Wonderland and you have this Mad Hatter that's just crazy? So for us, we are a house of creatives that are just super hyper creative. And I just felt like it was a fun nod to the unlimited opportunity to be creative and drive results for businesses within the marketing space.
I love the origin. That's fantastic. Would you say you've always been a creative sort, or did it come to you further on down the road? What was your first foray into the world of creativity?
Even as a young age, I enjoyed painting. I would draw. And then as I got older, I had this interest in fashion. Actually, my first business was a screen printing business. And I paid my way through college selling T-shirts to schools and contractors because they would place large orders. And I had a guy that worked for me that would print the shirts, and I would go out and sell the orders and deliver them. And I was able to pay my way through college with my screen printing business.
Sounds to me like a fascinating form of scholarship, if you will.
Mhm.
I know that a lot of people depend upon other forms, financial aid or whatever, but to go out there and put yourself through like that is a pat on the back moment. So congratulations to you for that.
Thank you.
I think that's really cool. And then having done that, you just never lost the spark.
Yeah, I started working for my dad and I did marketing for him. He owns an international brand. They sell center consoles, a $2 million speedboat all over the world. So I worked for him. He taught me how to do graphic design, and he actually had a lull in his business as I was graduating high school. So we had a lot of time together where he would sit there and he would help me do the t-shirt designs in like Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. And I just quickly picked up on graphic design and then started doing it for other people, designing a logo, helping them build their website. Then once I graduated, I went and worked for a plastic surgeon and managed their $1 million a year in marketing across the board for whatever they spent. $500,000, $10 million over the period of time that I was there. And I just had this love for it, because I was able to see the direct impact it made on a business to have really good marketing.
I'm one of those that believes that sales is secondary to marketing. Sales is a function that can survive because of marketing, but without marketing, without effective marketing, what have you got to sell and who's going to know you've got it anyway? I'm definitely a fan of marketing. I think that it is very, very powerful. And one of the things that you mentioned in your story is that you like to help people deliver their marketing message through storytelling. So tell me more about that, if you will.
Yeah. So when you're posting on social media, you're always telling a story, whether it's in a video format or in a carousel swipe format. You want to keep people engaged and interested. No matter what you're doing, you're always trying to communicate something or promote something or educate. And you do that through storytelling.
Storytelling is one of the most powerful means of getting points across. People can certainly relate in some form or another. If I hear your story, obviously I am not you, you're not me, but there's always little glimmers of something that can spark the imagination, spark potential, and stories do just that. Your experiences are different than mine. Your story then gives me a vision of things that I just don't have any idea about. And that's a fascinating thing. So, how did you choose the audience that you work with? What brought you into that space? Because it seems as if you're in somewhat of a niche space. How did you end up there?
I think from my background, working with the plastic surgeon, doing a high-end luxury product, I was exposed to higher ticket sales essentially.
Hmm.
And you do work with some other smaller businesses that have lower ticket products or services, but I think we really excel in the higher luxury product or service just because that's my experience. I mean, I grew up in a household as my father was an entrepreneur my whole life. So I was privy to witnessing him sell a boat and make $500,000, or he was in construction at one point. So I think it's just all I've ever known. So I just became good at it.
So that was your journey. You kind of grew into it, or I guess you could say you grew with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now imagine you're talking to people who are contemplating going down this path, not necessarily the luxury path, but they find the luxury path to be very intimidating. The fact that from an early age you were exposed to it, that certainly gives you a leg up and you feel more comfortable there. But what would you say to the people that find it to be too intimidating? They're just simply afraid of the idea, but heck, I'd like to be in that space. What do you say to them?
I would just go get experience. I would go work for somebody that's in the space that you're interested in, whether it's an internal marketing position or an internship, and get all the experience you can. Because I would definitely say, as I'm hiring, I love the fact that somebody can graduate from a prestigious college and have a really great project they worked on at the end of the year. But what I really look at is, what is your experience? What does your portfolio look like? Are you creative? What areas are you creative in? Are you hardworking? Because if you can check those boxes, you can learn anything and grow into any position that you truly put your mind to.
All right. That's great advice. I appreciate that. When you are engaging with your clients, and I think this is something important for people to understand, would you consider yourself a technical consult, a creative consult, a hybrid of the two, or yet a third that I didn't mention?
And initially, we do a strategy. We look at their digital footprint before they hire us or work with us. Then within that strategy, we say, okay, here's the end goal. And this is what we're going to do between starting to work together and to get you to this goal. And essentially, we will adjust that strategy every 3 months or every quarter so that we're constantly staying on trends. Algorithms are changing, new content shoots are needed. So we're able to keep our pulse on what content's working, what content's not working, what are other people in the industry doing that we're seeing convert, so that we can always stay on top of the game and make sure that every month when we're going into the next season, we're 2 steps ahead. The way we are able to do that is we have 15 to 20 people on staff working 40 hours a week, thousands of hours we're investing in these platforms. That's the only way that we know as much as we know about them.
So, vastly more important, certainly more time spent in the actual development of the utility of the product versus the actual act of creating the product. Is that fair?
And yes, absolutely. A lot of the pre-planning and shooting and editing to get into that final moment is what all that work, essentially what you're paying an agency to do is all that work leading up to the moment of hitting post.
What kinds of things go into creating a marketing persona for a client? I'm looking at you as a technical expert. I'm asking these questions because I envision they're the kinds of questions that somebody who's curious to go into this sort of engagement might be looking to have answers for.
Trying to come up with that, we call it an avatar essentially, is who we're selling to and who's buying this product or service. Usually it's a couple different personas that you're going after. You typically look at your data so far, like who has purchased from you and how have you obtained that client?
Mhm.
What is their age group? Where are they located? What are their interests? What are they buying from you? Are they coming back? And then you're able to determine, okay, this is who my avatar is. Now I'm going to go to this platform because we know this age group is on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. Then we're going to serve that avatar with content that speaks to them. As a business owner, a lot of people want to see things that makes them feel good and speaks to themselves, but you can't do that. You have to speak to who's buying your product or service.
There's an important distinction. Your client is trying to serve their own clients, and you have to thread the needle between their expectations and what their own clients are looking for. Tell me about that. That must be an interesting experience for you.
Yeah, typically what we found is a lot of your clientele, a lot of people will go after something and say, oh, this is my niche. This is where I want to work. But then along the way, you'll find out that actually it's something different. And you may find that you enjoy that more and that it's easier for you to produce or to serve as a business. And when you're able to do that and streamline, that's when you're able to scale because you understand that clientele so much that you can do it across the board everywhere. And I feel like it kills any business that does not niche down and find their audience because when you're trying to service everybody, you can't do that on a mass scale and you can't expand your business that way.
As a business coach, I can tell you I've encountered a number of clients over the years who have done just that. These are folks in both mature businesses as well as those who are new in business, just developing. They frankly just don't know who their clients should be. And let's face it, it does start with the business owner. It's up to me to figure out who I can serve, right? Not for them to tell me what they want necessarily, because I still have to be able to provide them a bill of goods. It's a curious place, isn't it, Madison? You're chuckling. Obviously, you've been here.
Yes. It's fun because in my line of work, I would say it takes me 90 days most of the time to learn my client and learn their style, how they communicate, what they're going to like. And I'm laughing because as we're meeting right now, I'm having somebody email me that's been a client for a week. And we're trying to learn how to work together. And a client might get frustrated about something, but for us, that's a simple, easy fix. Let me do that for you really quickly. You just have to tell me that's what you're looking for.
Right. But I don't know what I'm looking for.
Exactly. And we figured that out through trial and error, giving you different examples and.
I think that's an important thing for people to realize too. I believe a lot of people are going into business thinking that they can build something. For example, a website, a business plan, something concrete. Okay? And they may be technically good at doing those things, but they undervalue the importance of their ability to draw the client out so as to create the thing most suitable for that client. It's not possible to create a good website, for example, if the client is not party to the situation that leads to the creation of that website.
Yeah.
If I go to you and I say, well, I want this site and I want this kind of market immersion and presentation. I want to reach this particular group of people. If I come to you with all these ideas, it would be easy for you to sit down and put that together as is, right?
Of course.
You're technically capable. You got the people to do it. So boom, okay, fine, done. End of story. But the value add is that you can say, hey, Ed, hold on a second. Tell me more about what you're trying to do. Tell me about who you're trying to reach, about what engages them, and so on and so forth. I believe it's that person who's technically capable that can provide that additional support. They become a trusted advisor, not just a producer. I think this is the most important step in the relationship.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. A lot of that value does come from if somebody comes to us and knows exactly what they want versus if they don't, because I can say, we have another client over here that did it this way and this was their results. So if we kind of mimic that strategy a bit and utilize this platform that we know does X, we can get you here, but we're going to need this much extra money in ad spend or whatever to get you to your true goal. And a lot of it is just tweaking and adjusting as you go to get where you want to be. You may say it's going to take 12 months to get there. It might take 18. It might take 6. You don't know until you start doing it. Once you get in the groove and get on a roll with your efforts and marketing, you're able to determine what works for you and your business and your audience.
It's quite a process, that's for sure. So think of the biggest challenges that you face and that people such as yourself face out there in the marketplace. Tell me about them.
I think as an entrepreneur, we have these big goals and visions of growing big businesses and scaling. For everybody else, it's different. For us, my goal was always to be a multi-million-dollar agency within 5 years. And, first few years, it's really easy to double revenue. But once you hit that 1 million mark within 12 months, it's hard to double it again the next 12 months to get to 2 and then to get to 4. And you're starting to hit these numbers where your business starts to break a little bit, because what took you to get it to 500,000 is not what's going to get you to 1 million. And it's not what's going to get you to 3 million. So as you go, it's streamlining your process and your systems and having the team to do it, because the team that got you to 500,000 is not going to get you to 3 million. And you have to find those key players that, as an entrepreneur and a CEO, I can't physically do anything at the $2 million a year mark. I have to have a team that supports me. And I have to essentially pull myself out of it so that I can focus on strategy and sales and have my team execute. I think personally for me, that's been the hardest part. We're going into year 5. We're going to hit our $2 million annual goal within 5 years. But it's the evolution of the team over the 5 years, because you bring people in, you become attached to them, and they help you do certain things. And then they might decide that this doesn't align with what they want for their lives. They don't want to hustle and grow and be at a company that one day can do this and the next day do that. So I would definitely say it's scaling and systems and teams and having those breaking points as you hit those revenue goals.
It is an awkward space. The vision is something that is nurtured and cultured in the principal, the founders, the owners, and it's personal. It's not something you can share with everybody completely. You can try and you can think you are, but the reality is you can't necessarily in such a fashion. Even if you could, you can't expect them to be fully aligned with you, as you say. I didn't envision I'd be working 60-hour weeks 3 years into it. I didn't envision this or that, okay? And that, of course, is their own journey. As a leader, it's your responsibility, and that of all the other small business people who are scaling and growing, to understand that vision is personal, and it's also somewhat lonely. As much as you need support, Madison, as you said, you can't do it alone, and you know that. But how can you engage the right sorts of folks to participate in that vision with you, knowing full well they can never share it with you completely?
I think from personal experience, it's directly rewarding people financially for contributing, because at the end of the day, they're here for a job and to have a living. In today's time, the cost of living is insane. What $50,000 a year 10 years ago gets you now is drastic. And I think it's important to be able to bring in a quality client that is paying a premium price so that you can have the talent that needs to be there, that's capable of doing the work, that can earn a livable wage. Being able to reward them as the business grows and knowing, hey guys, if we take on another $500,000 a year, yes, we are going to bring in support staff to get us there. But if you can step up into this role and make another $20,000 a year, that's exciting for people to have that kind of growth that fast. Within our company, as we've scaled so much, there has been a lot of growth opportunities for our team. I think that's why we're able to have the team that we are today.
That's excellent. And that certainly is a goal for all to strive for. It's not a given, that's for sure. One of the most important things is that the leader, the founder, the owner has to be willing to share in that growth wealth. And I don't mean just financially either. but emotionally and creatively as well as in many other ways. Those things are extremely important. So when you look at your growth over the last 5 years, and you said this is your fifth year now, correct?
Yeah, we're going into year 5. April 26th will be 5 years.
We'll call it the fifth year because,
Yeah.
in fact, if you go 0 to 1 and that stuff. Anyway, as you now are in your fifth year and you look back over what you've done and what you've accomplished, what are the highlights that stand out for you? What sorts of things have you learned along the way that you wish you would have had knowledge of before you started?
I think for me, being in this business at 25 years old, I was young and I was more mature than most 25-year-olds because I am the oldest of 5 kids. When you're that age, you lead more with emotion than you do rationality. Now, I don't make decisions quickly. I think about things before I react. I take emotion out of the most that I can because I am a woman and my business is personal. I bootstrapped the company. And I think for me, being able to think before I speak and lead as an example, not only for my team, but for my clients, and have a servant's heart because I am serving these people in their businesses. I think it's really what has given us the ability to, in the past 12 months, triple our revenue by having that mentality and knowing at the end of the day, everything's going to work out how it's supposed to. There's a plan and I have to trust it.
I think we all go through a phase where emotions play a strong role, and they've slapped us around enough where we realize, boy, I'd like to get to a point where I can keep them in check. Some of us succeed, some of us don't, but it certainly is a goal to strive for. It lends a little bit more stability to the environment, wouldn't you say?
Oh, of course. I do have legacy clients that have been with me for almost 5 years. My very first client is still with me today. So I think that speaks for itself.
Okay.
But I will say, I feel like the clients that we've brought in the past year and a half, a lot of them I don't see going anywhere for the foreseeable future because they feel supported by the team. They are getting the results and they know that we're constantly looking for their best interest. Like I had a call today with a client that I had adjusted the strategy on, and they got on the call to want to talk about adjusting the strategy, but we had already done it and we were ready to present it. And for us, it's like making sure that we're always a couple steps ahead. And if we can prevent things and be organized and communicate, we will always have a successful, thriving business and good company culture.
It's interesting that you talk about the legacy client. 5 years is fantastic. To have somebody around from the get-go is fantastic. It's also interesting that you note that you have some clients who, I'm sensing what you're saying is a certain amount of dependency. We know the Madhouse is going to take care of us, so we don't have to worry about it. I'm sensing, and maybe I'm misreading, but it seems to me like you've got an inkling of an idea of what's coming next for you.
I do. And I almost feel a little apprehensive to it because
Sorry for poking you, but I just couldn't help it. Okay.
I'm an open book if you know anything. It's taken us so much to get here in the past 12 months. Years 1 through 3 were great. They were easier. Year 4 threw us on our back, and it threw us on our back in a very vulnerable time for me. I had just had my 3rd baby, and I basically had to rebuild the business last year. I was constantly asking myself, am I just not meant to do this? Is this not what the plan is for me? And I was at that point just ready to be done with it.
Mm.
And then it started to turn around. And ever since then, it's like I've just been on the front seat of a roller coaster and I'm just hanging on for dear life. And it is moving so fast. I'm always trying to, like I said, stay ahead, whether it's with the team and hiring or replacing our clients or scaling the business. And we're just growing at a really fast pace. And it's happening organically. It's referrals. It's people spreading the word on how great of a job we've done for them. And they just want to let people know. I had a client text me. He's my second biggest client in spend. And he's like, hey, do you have a referral program? I'm like, absolutely. I have a referral program for you. You can refer me another great client. We'll take care of you. But in the back of my mind, I'm just like, there's only so much of me. So it's like, okay, how do I replace myself? And I know that that's with having to hire 3 people.
I want to tell you something. This might sound odd. I'm very happy for you. I'm glad you had that slap down in year 4.
Oh, I needed it.
I think we all need a slap down to give us an opportunity to take a good, hard look at what's going on. As far as the front seat in the roller coaster, come on, girl, you know darn well that's what you got yourself into, right?
Oh, look, I wouldn't want to have it any other way because if business was slow, I would be sitting around like, poor pitiful me. What's wrong?
Thumbs, twiddle my
Yeah.
thumbs.
So, and I moved so fast. So it honestly is been just a dream come true where we've gotten the business and the clients that we serve the best. I really have no complaints. I'm a mom of 3 little kids. They were sick all weekend. They got me sick yesterday. So I am a human. I do get tired and worn out, but I do believe that us entrepreneurs, we're more resilient than most people. We truly can take anything and get back up.
I'm glad you're doing just that. So, Madison, our time is coming to an end. And before we part company, I want to ask, is there anything you'd like to share? Anything at all that comes to mind that's important to you?
I think it's important to give credit to the people that truly help you get to where you are. For me, it's been the support of my family, my husband, my dad, my mom. I have 2 sisters that work for me, and we truly have a family business. And knowing that you're able to put your trust in your family and they're going to support you no matter what is really a driving force to the success that we have today. I really am thankful for the support that they have given me and sacrifices they have made to get us to this point because we can't do it ourselves. And anybody that pretends as they did it themselves is not telling the truth. So it's important to give credit where it's due.
Thank you for that. I think that's a lesson that we all need to understand and put into action. I appreciate that. Well, Madison, I thank you for being here with me today. I'm very grateful to have you. And I want to wish you the very best in all that you do from here on out.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Ed.
Folks, this is Ed Drozda, and here at the Water Trough, I want to wish you a healthy business.